Hey, well, welcome everybody. Happy Tuesday afternoon, wherever you are. I hope the sun is shining. It is here, and you're having a great start to your week. So we got more people just coming in as we speak, but today our guests are Dan Mimry and Tanya Addison with Aetna. So welcome, guys. We're really glad you're here with us today and help coach us up on ancillary products and cross-selling. And I'll just put a little commercial in here for both of them. I've known Dan now for probably, what, Dan, 3 or 4 years? Something like that?
Yeah, I guess so. Yep.
Something like that. But just, and Tanya maybe not quite as long, but we really lean on both of them and to help us, and they're just really, really responsive, and it just means so much anymore. It seems like that should just be a given, but it's not. And a lot of the carriers that we work with, it seems hard to get help when you need it. But boy, these two are always there for us, and we've really become good friends. And of course, Aetna is a name everybody knows. So welcome everybody. I hope this is really helpful. Make sure you get your questions asked, and we'll turn it over to you guys. Okay, Dan?
All right, great. Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
Buddy.
And as John just mentioned, Aetna really is a brand that people know. Just, a brief history here. We've been around 170 years. So we've had ebbs and flows and changes in really every industry, and insurance is no different. We were bought by CVS, I guess it's about 4 years ago. But as a brand, 170 years really means something. A lot of your clients, they may have never heard of Aetna Medicare, but maybe they had a group plan with Aetna, or dental, or something along the way. So we really think the brand is a very, very much a strength of ours. But today we're going to talk about our Aetna SSI product, Senior Supplemental Insurance, specifically our ancillary products. And I was just thinking about Aetna. We really, it's two sides of a Medicare business. We have our counterparts on the Med Sup, or excuse me, the Medicare Advantage and our prescription drug plans, kind of all the stuff that's regulated by CMS. And then we have our side of the business, the ancillary and our Med Sup product line. And historically, our supplement products have really been the cornerstone of what we do on this side of the Aetna business. But over the last few years, we actually are writing over 50% of our business is in our ancillary product lines. So we think it's definitely valuable to take a few minutes today and just kind of brush up on what we have to offer. We have a really strong portfolio of ancillary products. So thank you for taking the time to do that today. These ancillary type products are things that your clients typically don't come to you asking for. So there's really one thing that sets agents who are very strong selling these ancillary products apart from those who aren't, and it's simply talking about the products. And I'll just give you a brief history of myself. When I first got into insurance, which I was just sitting here kind of waiting to queue up, I realized it's over 19 years ago. Kind of shocking to me. Time flies when you're having fun, and I really do think this is a fun industry. No one aspires to be in the insurance industry, but I think it's a great industry, and we help a lot of folks with the products that we discuss. But when I first started, it was kind of the heyday of the HSA type under 65 major medical plans. And really at that time, if I walked into a 2 or 3 person group, the biggest objection that I had was saving people too much money on their health insurance. It's kind of that old adage, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. So I would walk into a 2 person group, let's say. Many times it was a small business and it was a husband and wife made up those 2 people in the group. And if I'm saving them $1,000 a month on their health premiums, it's kind of shocking to them, right? So what did I do? I positioned alongside of those HSA plans. We always, we'd go from $1,000 deductible, individual deductible, to maybe $5,000. So that was kind of sticker shock. At that point, no one had really heard the concept of a $5,000 deductible. Now, post Affordable Care Act, we probably all love to go back to that. But I would position an accident plan alongside of that major medical product. They had peace of mind in the added coverage. And oddly enough, it felt more real to them paying a higher premium. And it took me a little bit of time to get on the bandwagon, pairing up these ancillary products alongside of the supplement and the advantage sales, but it's really the same concept. So we'll jump right into this with our cancer, heart attack, stroke product. So we're gonna kind of do a high level overview of our product portfolio, and then I'm gonna just show, if I can toggle over later, just show you a couple things that I think are important on the Aetna seniorproducts.com website. We don't have a true field underwriting guide, but you can essentially create your own. So I'll show you that a little bit here. But so cancer, heart attack, stroke. This is the second most written product that we offer in Aetna SSI. And I think we all know the prevalence of cancer in America. I think it's 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 females are diagnosed with cancer at some point in their lives. It's really, I think every agent needs to find their own script, if you will. And I'm a very much keep it simple guy. I think a question as simple as, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, who's your cancer coverage with? They look at each other kind of wide-eyed and they start telling you about Uncle Ernie and his last 5 months of chemo and radiation. They basically sell themselves on the need. All you had to do was bring it up. So definitely a need for this coverage. This is how the plan works. So you can buy it 2 different ways, or 3 different ways, actually. You can get a cancer-only plan, heart attack, stroke plan, or you can combine those 3 coverages into cancer, heart, stroke. The cancer plan pays 100% of selected benefit amount if diagnosed with cancer or in situ carcinoma. And it doesn't coordinate costs in any way. So it can be used to pay medical costs or any other expenses that they choose. Maybe it's a grandparent who wants their last legacy to be taking, the grandkids to Disney World or something like that. They can do whatever they want. These are indemnity products. Heart attack, stroke insurance pays 100% of the benefit amount, and once again, doesn't coordinate in any way. So you can write an individual spouse, individual children, or the entire family. And the interesting thing about this product is the rates are based on the youngest spouse. So definitely, if there's a husband and wife with a big age difference, make sure you write the youngest as primary, and it will rate accordingly. So definitely save your clients some money with that. Issue age is 18 to 89, which most of these ancillary products are issue ages 18 to 89. We think of these plans kind of as a senior product, but they're really not. How many times are you sitting with a client and maybe a son or daughter is sitting with that parent, helping them navigate their Medicare decisions? Well, post Affordable Care Act, could that son or daughter possibly benefit from a coverage like a cancer plan or hospital indemnity, that sort of thing? So don't think of these as just senior products. But issue amounts of 5,000 to 75,000 max benefit, and there is a 30-day waiting period on the coverage. A neat aspect of this cancer plan is there's a reoccurrence benefit. It's just a few dollars a month. I would always quote it with, you can always pull it out. But I think when you say, yeah, you're going to get the benefit once, and if you don't buy reoccurrence benefit, your plan goes away. With the reoccurrence, after 2 years, they're going to get 25% of the coverage. After 5 years, 50%, and so on. After 9 years, they're going to have 100% restoration of their benefit amount. So definitely quote it with the reoccurrence benefit. Heart attack, stroke, same thing. Also has a reoccurrence benefit. Once again, just quote it with it. It's easier to pull it out than it is to add it. Commissions. We just had a significant bump in comp on this plan. We have front loaded the comp in year 1. So definitely take advantage of that. You're getting a lot more bang for your agent buck, if you will. So definitely an enhancement to comp there. That started September 26th. So if you guys have written any time between then and now, you've noticed that probably. Dental, vision, hearing. This is actually our largest, or these are our largest selling ancillary type products. Our DVH plans, this is about 1.5 years old. So this first bullet point I don't think is exactly right anymore. But there was a period of time where we were doubling sales every month. It was hugely popular. There's no pre-X clause, no waiting period or proof of coverage needed. And the DVH Plus product does have coverage for implants and orthodontia. So I know, a lot of times I would be dealing with a client as an agent, implants would come up. Dental implants are hugely popular and very, very expensive. So this plan does offer some benefit for that. Let's see, let's get into the DVH features here. So there are no health questions here. If someone wants the coverage, they get it. Guaranteed renewable. Once again, issue ages 18 to 89, and you can write in individual couples or families. And benefit amounts of 1,000 all the way up to 3,000. We just got word that max benefit amount of 3,000 is actually going to go up to 5,000, and we're going to add a third cleaning to the coverage. So instead of just 2 cleanings per year, it's going to be 3, and then a max benefit of 5,000. I want to say that happens in April. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's April. There is a $100 per policy year deductible, and there is a network. But the cool thing about this plan, or both dental plans, DVH and DVH Plus, is your client doesn't have to stay in any specific network. We utilize the Carrington Dental Network, but they're welcome to go to their own dentist who doesn't participate in any network, pay for their services, and then submit the claim to Carrington and get reimbursed according to whatever the coverage is. So no specific network is needed. There's a 30-day free look as well. So these have changed a little bit, as the benefit amount is increasing. But so Class A benefits, after deductible, year 1 pays 100%, and 100% year after that, every year after that. Class B benefits, 65% in year 1, 80% in year 2 and beyond. And Class C benefits, 20% in year 1, 50% in subsequent years. So they do have first dollar coverage for even those major dental services. There is a $1,500 lifetime max on orthodontia. There is some vision and hearing coverage here as well. $200 max benefit for vision every 2 policy years, and $500 max in any given year for hearing. So they can max out both those benefits commensurate to what the plan pays, or they can use, let's say they got $3,000 dental coverage, they can use all of that on dental. So however they want to, get their services. Let's see, hospital indemnity flex. This is, in my opinion, if you guys are doing anything in the Medicare Advantage space, it's probably the easiest cross-selling opportunity ever. It's almost like, it just goes together. Hospital indemnity plans go together with MA, like peanut butter and jelly goes together on a sandwich. It just works together. And CMS almost does the intro of these products for us. What do you have to do on an MA sale, right? You have to get a scope of appointment. The scope is basically introducing the concept that there might be other products available, one of them being hospital indemnity, right? Additionally, you're going through that MA benefit summary. You get to that daily copay benefit. I'll just tell you, so in the Chicagoland market, the Aetna plan has a $300 daily copay for days 1 through 7. Once again, keep it simple, right? Do you want to pay for that, Mr. Jones, or do you want Aetna to pay for it? Of course they want Aetna to pay for it. Okay, we'll come back to that. I'll show you how we get this covered. You've just planted the seed that we can get that, that risk covered. For some people, that $300 a day would be a very big financial hit. And if you have a client coming off of a med supp plan and you're enrolling them in, let's say, a 0 premium MA offering, do you know that they have a $35 per month that they can probably spend on a hospital indemnity plan? Yeah, it just makes sense. So 2 base ways to write it, and then about 6 different riders that we can add on to this hospital plan, and we'll get into that. So option 1, lump sum upon hospital admission. You can get up to $2,500 max benefit upon admission. This is another product that we're actually upping that max. I think that goes to 4,000, and I want to say it's either in April or May again. So just look for more, from marketing news releases that has actually happened. It hasn't yet, but that is going up to $4,000 max benefit. So that's a lump sum one time upon admission. Option 2, and I think this is the way that it really structures well alongside your Medicare Advantage offerings, is the daily hospital indemnity. So you can really mirror what the gaps are in those MA plans in $10 units. So like I said, $300 daily copay for the Chicagoland Aetna plans. You can mirror that exactly, but what I would recommend doing, because it is so cheap, to just add a little bit more on, write $330 or $350. Your client's not going to be mad at you if they make an additional $30 or $50 when they're admitted to the hospital. It gives them a little bit of wiggle room to get a dog walker or, pay for a spouse's meal while visiting them in the hospital, that sort of thing. And that daily benefit, once again, another benefit bump, that's going to go up to 1,000. Just not exactly sure when that happens, but pretty soon in the next couple of months. So 2 major ways to structure the plan. Personally, I think cost-wise, that daily hospital indemnity pairs up really well along MA, and it's very cost-effective for your client. Optional benefits. So a lot of different riders here, and a lot of these amounts are actually going up as well. I'm not exactly sure where these are going to land, but there's a daily skilled nursing benefit, a hospital or a doctor office visit. I think that goes up to 100 if I'm not mistaken. So that will be up to $100 for a doctor's office visit. There's outpatient surgical, hospital ER visit. The 2 benefit enhancements that are going on with that ER visit and ambulance, that $200 per visit is going up to, there's going to be a $400 benefit amount and a $600 benefit amount. I think that still stays at twice per year, but don't quote me on it. That might increase also. There's a lot of changes going on. They're all enhancements. Lump sum cancer rider as well, and then outpatient rehab. What I would tell you about our cancer coverage, if you are writing cancer, or cancer rider rather, if you're writing cancer coverage for someone, just write them a standalone cancer plan. I think I heard, when I first got into this industry, if you write 3 or more products on a client, you're about 90% likely to keep them. So, just for your own client retention, it's better to write multiple products. And then the coverage is actually better on the standalone cancer plan because you have that reoccurrence benefit. But just like an auto purchase, that's kind of the analogy I use here. The more bells and whistles you add to your auto purchase, the more it costs. These riders are exactly the same. The more riders you add to the hospital indemnity plan, the more it costs. So, settle on something that fits your client's needs and budget, and I think they'll be happy. Underwriting. All of these products are simplified issue, and I'll show you how to essentially create your own field underwriting guide just using the Aetna website. Just give me a few minutes on that, and we'll have a look. Pre-X for this product, policy pays for pre-X after it's been enforced for 3 months, and there's a 6-month look back. Benefits for all other covered injury or sickness begin on the date the policy is issued. Recovery care. This really, I think, is the unsung hero of our ancillary product line. I think back to my days as an agent, and I didn't do a ton in the long-term care space, but I did somewhere between probably 9 and 12 quotes. And it's a lot of work, very similar to a life sale. You get a paramed done, and we get a final rate back on a traditional long-term care insurance plan. And it was either way more than they wanted to spend, and they were kind of shocked by what the final rate became, or they just didn't qualify for health reasons. This was years ago, 15, 18 years ago now. The rates have gone up significantly on a traditional long-term care policy, and underwriting has tightened. That's where this recovery care plan comes in. It's absolutely something you need to know about if you're doing anything in that LTC space. This will save cases for you, guarantee it. There's 3 different components to the coverage. This product actually has an issue age of 50 to 89. So the first component of this is a daily nursing facility. Your client can get up to $400 daily max and a choice of covered days of 90, 180, 270, or 360 days with a lifetime maximum of twice the covered days. There are elimination periods of 0, 20, or 100 days. Obviously, the longer the elimination period, the cheaper the rate will be. But twice the number of covered days, your client is getting up to 360 days of coverage here twice. So really, really nice benefit there for daily nursing. Let's see, I just had something pop up here. Daily hospital indemnity, the base benefit, once again, issue age is 50 to 89. It is for every component of this coverage. Up to $400 daily benefit for each hospital confinement if they're in the hospital 24 hours, including observation stays. Observation is becoming very common in hospitals and hospitalization. This pays for observation up to 365 days lifetime maximum. Uh-oh, I am not able to advance. Let's see. Okay, there we go. And then there's a home care rider. Pays for each week the beneficiary receives 3 or more professional home care visits of at least 1 hour, or can't perform 2 or more ADLs, or has cognitive impairment. Up to $1,200 maximum weekly benefit. I think that is going up, but I don't know what to. Notice a theme here. These are all enhancing benefits on all of our ancillary product lines. Your client has a choice of covered weeks of 13, 26, or 52 weeks. And once again, they can get twice the number of covered weeks is their lifetime maximum. So you can really kind of structure this to suit your client's needs and budget. But if you max it out, it's significant coverage for these 3 baskets, if you will, of coverage on our recovery care product. Simplified underwriting, once again, policy pays for pre-X after it's been enforced for 6 months. So, as long as they hit that 6 months and a day, it's going to cover all pre-existing conditions, and benefits for any other injury or sickness begin on issue date. Home care. Home care really plays second fiddle to our recovery care product. It's a great product, but it is what it says it is. It's coverage for home care, where the recovery care includes the home care component. This product, they can use it for home care or hospital indemnity, but it must be medically necessary. So the underwriting is just slightly more difficult. These are all simplified issue products, so it's not tough underwriting by any means, but slightly more difficult underwriting on a recovery care product. But it doesn't have to be medically necessary. It's just 2 ADLs or a cognitive impairment, and then 3 visits per week. This must be medically necessary. So just a little tougher to go on claim, I think. And they can get up to $750 weekly maximum and up to 26 weeks of coverage. And there is no limit to the number of periods of care. No waiting period on this product either. There's a daily hospital rider here. Pays a hospital benefit if the policyholder is confined in the hospital. It's up to 150 daily max instead of that 400 that the recovery care product is. And that's up to 365-day lifetime maximum. A couple different final expense offerings. These kind of took us by surprise. We had what I would call our legacy final expense product, and it wasn't very competitive from a pricing standpoint. It didn't have a ton of traction, and we launched two different final expense life products in short order, very very close in time to each other, and they took off like a rocket. So if your client needs a smaller benefit amount life product, like final expense type product, these have been wildly popular in the final expense community. So we've got our CLI final expense, it's continental life. There's an accidental death benefit rider that can be added, or a children's term rider. There is, let's see, max death benefit of up to 50,000, and it's phased in by what age they are to what the max benefit amount on a level plan, to what the max benefit amount can be. Here's just a comparison in a grid form of our legacy product, which is that left column, the ACC, the Ascendo final expense, that's one of the newer products, and then our CLI final expense product. They're very similar. Issue ages 40 to 89 on the Ascendo product and 45 to 89 on the CLI product. And then you see the tiers of what the max benefit is based on age. There are super preferred rates on both of these products. With the Ascendo product, it's a 10% preferred rate on the base policy. If they've been issued an underwritten med-sup policy with Aetna within the last 6 months, they still have to qualify for underwriting, and then your comp will be grossed up in that scenario. With the CLI final expense product, also super preferred rate, 10% discount, they have to have once again, in the last 6 months, an underwritten med-sup policy with Aetna. Open enrollment and guaranteed issue plans don't qualify for that. Ascendo final expense, this just shows some of the key points here. There's a super preferred rate. They can use Social Security to pay it. Optional riders, 40 to 89, and coverage from 2,000 to 50,000. There's a level plan, and then a modified pays full face immediately from issue date, and they can add an accidental death and a non-accidental death in that coverage. Let's see. So here are the 3 riders for the Ascendo. Accelerated death benefit, they can get up to 50% bump on their death benefit. And accidental death, it pays 100% of the base amount for an accidental death, and then they can add child term rider to that as well. Okay, lots of different functionality here. Tanya and I do a training specific to our website. So definitely, if you're looking to learn more about the website, Tanya has forgotten more about the website than I've ever known. She does a great job showing you how to track your business. You know, there is a ton there. We do an hour and a half training, and sometimes we run over. It just depends on how many questions there are. But I'll show you some of the key points that I think are worth knowing where they are in just a minute here. But if you guys aren't doing things electronically, like your quoting and enrollments, if there's one thing I can impart to you today, please do that stuff electronically. I can tell you, in almost 4 years in this position, in this job, 100% of the time, if an agent has a premium discrepancy, like the premium quoted is wrong, or there's some sort of application mishap, like something was omitted on an app, you name it, a zip code was left off, or a social security number was missing, or anything like that, a legibility issue, 100% of the time over 4 years, it was on a paper application. The interesting thing is, we get over 95% of our business electronically. So it's a total inverse relationship. So if you're not doing things electronically, please do. You can track your business easier. It's a faster submission process, and legibility issues go away. For all the reasons, do them on the website. Additionally, we have a standalone quoting tool that you can add to your smartphone. And just, let's say you're standing in line at the grocery store and run into an old friend or a friend of a friend, and they know you're an insurance agent. You can just quickly, using this Quotes on the Go app, have total capability of quoting any product that we offer. Now, you can't do an enrollment through your smartphone, but you can run a full quote, and that's every product that we offer. I mean, once you've done 1 or 2 of them, you'll be quoting someone in 30 seconds to a minute, and you can say, oh yeah, it'd be this much for a med sup, or here the cancer plan is this, or yeah, we can fix that toothache with your DVH coverage. Here's that. So if you don't have this on your smartphone, quotes on the go in the App Store or the Google Play or whatever it's called, and you'll see this logo, just put it on your phone. You'll have total capability of quoting. Incentives, a couple different incentive programs going on. It would be nice. Tanya and I were feverishly trying to get the second quarter incentive stuff, which we don't have yet. So this ends at March 31st. We don't know what the next incentive is going to be. We do know that we have been here in the sales organization. We've been pushing our bean counters really hard to up our ancillary component of the bonus. So stay tuned for that. I'm sure marketing will be getting something out to you probably within the week, given that we're only a few days away from second quarter here. The key thing I want to point out here, so in addition to making your life way easier doing things electronically, there is no bonus anymore on a paper submission. So do yourself a favor, save a bunch of time, and also continue to qualify for the bonus program by not doing paper submissions. Just want to point that out so no one's surprised. Guaranteed issue applications don't count towards the bonus, but they do count towards the 5 applications required for a payout. So just want to point that out. Just because it's GI, it's not totally worthless. It is counting towards the 5 policies needed for a payout. And bonuses pay out monthly with your commissions. There is an annual incentive bonus starting at, let's see, 190,000 in the bottom right corner there. You can get a KitchenAid mixer, but really things get really good at the 225 annual level. There's a travel voucher that you can get, a cash reward or a travel voucher, and that starts at 225,000. So definitely, participate in that if you can. Let's see, this just goes through the kind of the nuts and bolts of the program. It is an annual program, that second one that we just looked at. Okay, I'm just going to show you quickly here. Jason, can you see?
Not seeing anything right now.
Can you see my screen, the Aetna?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, perfect. So just want to point out a couple of things here on aetnaseniorproducts.com. So once again, that's the website, aetnaseniorproducts.com. And if you've never been here before, hopefully everyone's been here, but if you haven't, want to point out a couple things. One, you'll see members, agents, and providers here. This is really the one-stop shop for everything Aetna Senior Supplemental Insurance. So of course, we're using this as an agent, but also providers are using this site. And then of course, your members are too. So lots going on here, and your functionality is just going to depend on how you log in. So we're going to log in as an agent, right? Log into broker web portal. I've got to do one additional step that you guys will not have to do, as I'm an employee. And I've got to impersonate an agent. So I'm just going to go in here. You will not have to do this, but so the first time you go here, you'll have to set up a user ID and password if you've never been here before. If you've been here before and done that, you just log in, and then you won't have to do this step. I'm just going to impersonate whatever the last agent I impersonated was. Okay. And so there's a lot of functionality here. Like I said, Tanya and I do it's monthly, sometimes a little bit more than once a month training on the website, specific to the website. Our counterpart, Colleen, does a training solely on the quoting and enrollment tool, which if you've never attended that and you're wondering, you want to learn more about it, definitely tune in. She's a wealth of knowledge on that. So a couple things I want to point out. One, there's a directory here. In the top right corner, directory. We are absolutely here to assist you guys and help what you are doing in the field. We've all been agents before, and we know sometimes it kind of feels like you're out there on an island. If you have any questions about anything, please reach out to us, our new business support team, which all of any phone numbers, any actual physical address, any website, it's all housed here. You've got full access to the entire organization. And then I'll just show you. So here's our sales team. Tanya and I handle the Western region along with our manager, Tony Clark. And we have all the purple states here. So if you guys have questions on any of these states, we're the team to call, including Alaska and Hawaii. So it's a big area geographically. And then here are Tanya and myself. All of our contact information is on the next page. And so you'll notice this is color coordinated based on region. So please let us know what we can do to assist what you're doing in the field. So that's the directory. We've also added a chat functionality here about probably a year and a half ago now. This has been really well received by the agents that have tried it. You don't even have to go through the phone prompts on our broker service line. You can just quickly get a quick answer to something using the chat functionality. So really helpful to a lot of agents. I mentioned that we don't have a true field underwriting guide. So one thing I want to point out here is under the products tab, if you notice all of these headers here have drop downs that cascade out of them when you hold your cursor over it. So under the product tab, the first thing I'll point out, product availability chart. I think whether you're a brand new agent or you've been in this industry 35 years and you're writing in multiple states and looking to add your 18th state, the product availability can be helpful. So I just clicked on that link, product availability chart. And what this does is it defaults to giving us an alphabetical individual state view. So that defaults to Alabama. I'm a keep it simple guy, as I mentioned earlier. I'm going to click on download product availability chart. And what this does, it gives us every state here alphabetically on the left side, and then product columns beside every state. So, you know, in the Illinois row, we've got every product that we offer is available here. So if you have initials in the corresponding box, that product is available in that state. So before you start talking to a client in Hawaii, let's say, about our DVH product or DVH Plus or Recovery Care, you name it, the only product that we have in Hawaii right now is our Ascendo Final Expense Plan. So just make sure before you go down that road with a client that the product is in fact there. The other cool thing about this is on page 2 of this PDF version, you've got just a bullet pointed overview of each respective product in the product portfolio. So kind of helpful there. I think it just does a nice job of just giving you the highlights of each product. So just wanted to point out where that is. I'm just going to go back to the home page, and then I want to show you. So once again, under the products tab, drug list. So we can really make our own field underwriting guide. And once again, these are simplified issue products, but we can look up any member's medication to know if it's a good risk or not. We don't want to submit that app if you know it's going to be declined, right? So drug list, and I'm just going to do a brief overview here of how this works. So when you first come in here, if you've never been in here before, all of these boxes for every product are going to be selected. I personally think it becomes a little jumbled here. You're going to have all of these plans reflected in this space, where right now I've just got our Med Sup offerings and the hospital indemnity plan. So that must have been the last thing I was looking at here. And I just want to point out how this drug list works. So let's see, Abacavir. It says any condition under the condition column. There is an X next to the Med Sup product. There is not under the hospital indemnity. So if there's an X here, that would result in a decline, which would be the case for SUP, but not hospital indemnity. That said, there are a lot of these, and a lot of times it's these new biologic medications. A lot of them are being used to treat all sorts of different conditions. So, you know, where this says, let's see, abstral right here, it says cancer, there's an X here, but not here. This maybe is used to treat something else not related to cancer at all. If that's the case, please, in your agent note section of an electronic application, just let us know that's the case. Our underwriters want to write the business if it makes sense. So the more information that you, the agent, can provide, the better for them to make the right underwriting decision. So just wanted to point out how this drug list works. So using this in conjunction, I'm just going to go back to the home screen. In conjunction with the health question portion of the application, you're going to know with almost total certainty whether or not your client is going to qualify for whatever the product is. So just want to show you how to get to all the health question portions. So you've got, this is what the screen looks like when you first go here. About a third of the way up, you've got these purple column headings, the left one being My Tools. So the second box here, I'm not sure you'll have this box, you might. But anyhow, in this view, Aetna Quote and Enroll is here. That's where you would go to run quotes and do enrollments. There is a sandbox. It's a kind of a practice area. You can go in and practice quotes. If you've never been there before, please do. It'll be a much better experience for you and your client if you've seen the form a couple times. But right below that is order supplies and download forms. So I'm going to click on that. And there's a redundant step here. You just click order supplies and download forms again, that orange box. And what you can do here, why this happens sometimes, but let me click this again and see if it brings up the, yeah. So what this does, once again, alphabetically here, listed on the left side, I'm just going to go to Illinois because we're an Illinois agency, right? And it gives you every product that we offer in whatever respective state you've clicked. So Illinois, as I showed you on the product availability chart, we have every product available. Let's just go to, we'll do cancer, heart, stroke. So I just clicked cancer, heart attack, stroke. This is going to give me every bit of paper materials available for that product, brochure, outline of coverage, application. So that's where we're going to get our health question portion of the app. I'm going to click on that, just download this. It just popped here at the bottom in my computer. And then here's our application. So you can just kind of work through this ahead of time with your client and know that, you know, they're going to qualify because they don't have HIV or AIDS or, you know, any of these knockout type questions. So using any of the apps in conjunction with the drug list, you're going to know with almost total certainty whether or not your client qualifies, unless it's one of those situations where they're taking some medication that might be used to treat something totally benign, kind of in a one-off scenario. So please let us know in more information in those cases. But just wanted to show you where a couple of these things are. Like I said, Tanya does an outstanding job of showing you kind of A to Z, everything back office, sorting your business, tracking new business, all sorts of stuff. But this just gives us a good overview of where a couple things that I think are important are. So really that is what I wanted to show you guys. Tanya, are there any questions that need to be discussed that came up?
I answered everything that came through, but let me just take a look. Oh, can you show on the website where the product availability chart is located again and show
Absolutely.
where we explain the products?
Yeah, I would love to. So here's the home page. This is what you'll first see when you first go there. All of these headers are drop downs. And the second one here, so it's going to default to home, products. And once again, the first tab down, product availability chart. And I'm the keep it simple guy. I'm going to just click the PDF version of this. So that's over on the right side here, download product availability chart. And there's that full chart. And then the second page of it being the bullet pointed versions of each respective plan. The one thing I didn't mention here, so product availability chart, you've got an effective date. You'll notice that was just, what, a week and a half ago, March 17th, 2023. This can and does change quite frequently. Typically, we're adding additional products in a given state. So just make sure you're using an up-to-date version of this. I would say if you have an Aetna folder that you keep, marketing materials, brochures, whatever in, if you're saving this to that, just make sure you update it at least quarterly, because we're constantly adding products. It's very dissimilar to our MA counterparts, where an MA plan is completely static from January 1st through December 31st. Whatever was filed that's the given calendar year plan. All of the products on the supplement side are regulated by the state, so plans can and do change mid-year. I'll also point out, so that's the product availability chart. There is an order marketing materials area, which I showed you how to get the plan, the health question portion of the application. If you're ordering supplies, you can order an entire kit. I'll just show you where that is. I would say just order a few. If you're talking about these things, people just feel really good about having something in hand. It feels real to them, right? You're talking to a client, hey, who's your cancer coverage with, Mr. Jones? He wants that kit in hand. So you can order the entire kit. Here's, let's just go to Illinois again. All the products availability are available in that state: cancer, heart attack, and stroke. I'm going to click on that. And then rather than, I went to the application specifically before, but what you can do is you can order the entire kit here. So you can order up to 25 of any given kit, and it's going to include everything down below. So every bit of paper collateral that you would possibly need is contained in this kit and is going to send out in one kit. Like I said, you can order up to 25, but plans do change mid-year, like I said. So if you think you're going to write 7 of them over the next 4 months, maybe don't order 25, because it could change. It doesn't a lot, but they can. Any other questions, Tanya?
No more questions, but I do want to mention, of course, this presentation is a very high level. I mean, Dan did get into some of the details, but for those agents, and this is based off of some of the questions that I've seen come through, so some of the agents that have yet to sell these short-term care products, please sit through these product webinars. They are very informational. I actually sit through them once a year just as a refresher on the products, because Dan does handle a lot of the product details. So I have to refresh on them yearly, just so I know what I'm talking about. But that would be a good thing. That's what I would recommend before you get out and start selling these products. Sit through them. They're about an hour long, but they do get into details. They do give some examples of how to cross-sell them. So there's a lot more information in these individual product webinars than these high-level, trying to get everything in one presentation.
That's a great question and great point, Tanya. Thank you for bringing that up. So what I've done here is, once again, we're back at the homepage. These product, or these headers here, the training tab is the 4th one or 5th one, I guess it is. The 3rd option down under that is webinars. I'm going to click webinars, and you've got a bunch of canned ones here. They're okay, but you're just flipping through a slide deck, basically. What I would recommend doing is register for upcoming live webinars here. So like I mentioned, Tanya and I do one that is an overview of the website. You can see all the upcoming, wow, there's only one scheduled here. I guess all the 2nd quarter ones haven't been populated here yet. So the only one remaining in Q1 is a DVH Plus training on the 29th at noon Central Time. These will be here very soon. Typically, the next few months are already built out here. For some reason, they're not reflecting here yet. But definitely, we have specific product trainings on every product that we offer, and then basically every process as well. So there's one on the quoting and enrollment enrollment tool. There's one on the website that Tanya and I do. There's all sorts of training opportunities here. So please, take advantage of those. There's a lot here. There are some canned ones too. There are product videos. So these are just short overviews on each respective product. They're agent facing. So just, in 2 to 4 minutes, I'll say, just gives you a short and simple overview of each product. And then we've got, let's see, I guess quote and enroll training. It's just a pre-recorded video here. And then there's a PDF version of that as well. I would say absolutely just jump on the live one. You can ask questions like you're doing today and get answers before you even hang up. Colleen does an outstanding job with that training. Anything else come up, Tanya?
One question just popped up. What if a client has, say, United Healthcare? Do they have to have Aetna in order to get these? No, they do not. So they can have any type of coverage and they can get these short-term care products alongside of any med sup. It does not have to be through Aetna.
Yeah, these are all standalone products. So I'll just go to the product overview here and the product availability chart. So everything that we offer, it doesn't coordinate with any other coverage, and they don't have to have anything specifically like DVH and DVH Plus, for instance. There isn't even underwriting. If they want the coverage, they can get it. The one other thing I'll point out, and this is very helpful to you as the agent, when you utilize our e-app process, you can do multiple product enrollments on one application, if you will. It's going to separate it out into different product enrollments. So it truly will be different applications, but it distills it all down into one app process. So just making up a scenario here, let's just say you're dealing with a husband and wife. One of them has been in corporate America for the last 35 years. They've always had good group health benefits. They've got the means to afford a med sup plan, so they're going to enroll in their Medicare supplement, let's just say Plan G. They have always had dental, vision, hearing coverage, so that's of interest to them. And you, the great cross seller that you are, say, hey, what sort of cancer coverage do you have, or who's your cancer coverage with? And they basically sell themselves on the need for cancer coverage. So 2 people, 3 products each. You can do all of those enrollments on one application using the e-app process. And you can actually do everything, including the signature on behalf of your client. So the way that works is we have what's called a security question signature, which I think is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my almost 20 years in the insurance industry. And this really came to the fore during the COVID years, where we weren't, specifically in the beginning of it, not meeting with people as much as we once did, right? There was a lot of uncertainty, so people didn't want to meet. So we were doing a lot by the phone, letting our fingers do the walking. So you, the agent, could be on the phone with your client and go right into the e-app. In that case, it's 6 different products, 3 apiece for 2 people. And when you get to the end of the plan, the signature, or the end of the application, the signature portion, you can do what's called a security question signature. So something as simple as, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, what's your mother's Mrs. Jones, what's your mother's maiden name? She tells you Miller. You, the agent on your end, sitting at your laptop or at your office desk, you type in Miller as the answer to that security question. All 6 of those applications submit directly into either the underwriting queue or enrollment queue in the case of the DVH product, because there is no underwriting. So they never even have to touch it on their end. The great thing is, for you, the agent, is there's nothing worse than doing all the work. You're finding a client, however you get that lead, maybe a referral, maybe a bought lead, whatever it is. So you have to find that person, you have to reach out, you have to educate them, you have to fact find, doing all that work. And then there's nothing worse than your client gets frustrated by an app process and the whole thing blows up. You could totally avoid that using the security question signature. So just keep that in mind. It's a really, really helpful tool. With total certainty that that those apps in this case have been submitted are in queue with Aetna. So just wanted to throw that out there. It's a really, really cool system. Any other questions pop up, Tanya?
We have no new questions coming in.
Okay, well, I thought we'd get through that a little bit sooner than this, but we'll give you 5 minutes back. We'll stay on for another 30 seconds or so. Please reach out. You guys know how to get a hold of us. If there's anything that we can answer or do down the road, we are here to support what you guys do. And absolutely, thank you for taking the time to be with us today and learn a little bit more about Aetna and all the products that we offer. And please let us know what we can do to assist what you're doing in the field every day. We'll be on another 30 seconds and feel free to ask questions. Otherwise, reach out directly.
Okay, well, thanks, Dan. Thanks, Tanya. We will we'll be in touch. So thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.